bombs, nuclear weapons, graft and corruption, crimes, famine, thirst, blood. Name it, the world has it. Nations against nations, state against church, government against the armed forces, military versus the fascists, innocent civilians in between. The guns rattle, the deafening sounds fill the air. The silence. Is there still a way out? In an instant, our lives are threatened with uncertainty. Our children facing bleak future. Everything seems dark ahead. Everything is fake. But still, everybody hopes for soothing words to say. Everybody hopes. Yet, what is there to hope for? But then, hope. We must not let this go out of our hands, out of our grasps, out of our lives completely. It is not a question of our differences, not even of our mistakes, but rather of our principles that we can finally resolve and come up, hopefully, with the most taken for granted word, peace. Yes, peace. There is nothing so clear about this, nothing so elusive. But only this is the most abused word. Its meaning drowned with the successive bang of guns. Our senses have become numb. Our consciousness refusing to believe its existence. We often regard peace with its negatively charged counterparts. War, friction, contention. Yet, we never progressed. We never dared to unblossom our blunder. We never even cared to make it our overriding concern to propagate peace and rouse the underlying benevolence deep within our hearts. Can we not, even just for once, secede from our mistakes, learn from our past, and come out spiritually functioned? Let's face it, our principles are as strong as our faith in God. We might not be aware of this, but it is established fact. More often than not, our tendency is to seek refuge in worldly splendor, unaware that we are only putting a limit to our chance of finding serenity. We are a labyrinth of moral darkness, lost and searching, and unless we work for our escape, we will be trapped here forever. How many of those people up there have sold their principles, one way or another, just to be where they logically think they belong? And how many of them have preferred to get into demagoguery just to win power, accumulate wealth, and get thrown into the most influential part of society? And how many of us have ever thought that peace was the most basal requirement for us to ever find happiness? And yet, you may ask how. There are not much rules to follow in achieving world peace. The fundamental step to this must come from every person who still believes that peace can exist and is willing to give it a chance. Basically, there has to be some changes to take place within us first. We have to involve our heart, our soul, our psyche. We can't be forever molded over a peccadillo. We have to be cruel to ourselves sometimes in order to be kind to the entire humanity. Remember, to propagate peace, there has to be a contamination process. Next, it must be considered, for as long as pride and prejudice exist, peace shall never be within our reach. People will always try to have for themselves the best of everything. Power, influence, money, at whatever cost, and stepping the rights of others in the process. They will try to outdo one another and come out as the morally sustained heroes. Yet no one will ever know that going to the top means rejecting the principles that We have indeed an animal instinct in us to disregard peace, deflate our principles, and go on with the things that are arbitrary to our impulses. Yes, everything is up to us. Everything must come from us, and we're responsible for whatever future that awaits us. It is time to pick up now. We just not do not let ourselves be swayed into something horribly inevitable. We have been in this maze since time immemorial, and we shall always be in this delirium. And unless we learn how to abnegate our own persona and selfish motives, man lifts man up, man drags man down. Indeed, man is a rational being, but he ceases to be the one the moment casuistry steps in. We are living in a life where in facts are much stranger than fiction. But we live in no dreamland. There's this grim reality that we have to deal with. We are given the gift of logic to think and reason out correctly. But we are also given the prerogative to use this in such way that it shall serve a common purpose or a morally accepted ideology. That is a game, they say. These are just the basic and elemental steps to achieving world peace. These things still hung in our faith in God to save us from a crisis of our own making. If we have failed ourselves, God never will. Indeed, the achievement of peace is just a matter of standardization of our morale and principles, of our faith in ourselves, in others, in Him, and of the unfolding justice for the entire humanity. St. Thomas Aquinas once said, "Pax opus justitia." Peace is just a product of justice. Is there still a way out? No one will ever know. Nobody can ever tell. But one thing is certain. Man will never know the essence of peace, not unless he knows the real meaning